All right, guys. Hope y'all are doing well today. What I wanted to do for today is kind of carry on and piggyback from the session we had Friday. Okay. So for today, what our plan was kind of identify an exemplar example that we can create for our classes, and then let's discuss how the kids did at our next PLC. Okay. Now, does anybody have an exemplar that they've already created, or kind of want to walk through one? Gotcha. Now I understand that. And so, and again, just to kind of summarize what we talked about on Friday, you know, we need to give the kids an exemplar example, okay, so they know what the expectation is. And you know, part of our concentration Friday was on creating it and also delivering it, so our kids know exactly what the expectation is. Okay. All right. So, you know, ideally, we probably want to use like an exit ticket or something like that. But, you know, if you have, you know, a big problem or a lesson that you're, you know, working through that entire day, we can use that. Right. You kind of work through that. You know, ideally, we want something to where like you create or show the kids during the I do portion of your instruction, and it's something that they can eventually work on the you do portion towards the end of the instruction. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Got it. So everybody, yes, go ahead.
Oh, so I was saying, sir, today I did investments, type of investments.
Okay.
We looked at the advantages and the disadvantages. So for the I do portion, what I did was to just talk a little bit about it, introduce the topic, related to when we were looking at savings, and then I used a table to look at the differences between saving and investment. So we did that on the board.
Gotcha.
And then I used a PowerPoint. So in the We Do, I used a PowerPoint where the information is there. I guided the discussion, but then I tried to get them to talk in terms of the discussion. And today was a good class.
Okay.
So within the PowerPoint too, I had videos that spoke about the types of investment and the advantages and disadvantages of both. Then I gave them some questions to answer based on the types of investment, based on mainly the two videos that were included in the PowerPoint presentation, but still on the types and the advantages and disadvantages.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing is they're learning, or you want them to produce something where they can explain the type of investments and the difference between investments and savings.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look at that. Maybe we can come up with an exemplar example of that. All right. The first thing we looked at is let's do investments versus savings.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So what's a good way they could, I guess, create something displaying the differences between investments and savings?
So the T-chart was what I used,
T-chart.
and that works well.
Right here,
Yes, sir.
investments on one side and savings on the other.
Yes, sir.
Sound like a plan? All right. All right. So, what's unique about investments?
So with investment, you usually get higher yields on your investment.
Very good. All right. Anything else specific or special to investments?
Usually investment is done over a longer period of time. And it is more risky.
So higher yields, higher risk, longer term. Anything else? Basically, you know, defining, we're highlighting differences between the two, but we also want to define like who they are. Is there any statement that can say, all right, this is an investment as opposed to a savings.
There's something else I had. Sir, my laptop is not coming up. Well, the laptop is up, but my.
Not a problem. Let's figure out a few for savings, right? All right. So, what's some key takeaways that are specific to savings that we want our kids to kind of point out?
So the interest rate is low.
All right.
You can save over a shorter period of time.
Yep. Short or long period of time, right?
Short or long, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Can be used for both. There are less risks involved.
All right. Anything else? Anything else that we can think of?
I had something else, but I'm not remembering.
Not a problem. Half of the importance though is on making sure they understand the unique characteristics of both, or the comparable of both. I'm looking at, let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. I see the standard here. Let's see if I can.
So it's slightly different from what I had in the lesson plan.
Gotcha. Okay. But
I didn't have this in the lesson plan.
Gotcha. Okay. But this would be a good example of what they need to do in order to tell the difference between
Yes,
the two,
sir.
right? What I want to do is to see if I can come up with some additional differences for savings and investments that we don't have listed up here. And so let's see here. We talked about long term for savings. Okay. One of the things that's listed that I think holds a lot of value is the purpose behind them. The purpose behind them are slightly different, which we kind of talked about. But one of the examples that I was looking up, we talked about short and long term period of time, and it seems like savings are for short or long term goals, right? Short and long term goals. Now, it's not that investments aren't involved in goals.
So they're more
But the goals-
specific. Saving is more specific.
Yeah. So let's put in parentheses specific here. Or emergencies or something like that. People
Yes.
have emergency savings funds, or they have a fund to buy a house, things like that. All right. Whereas investments are more aimed at kind of long-term or bigger purchases, right? So maybe we would do long-term goals, and I'm gonna put in parentheses like retirement. Now people are investing in retirement or having a retirement invested in, all right? And stocks, things like that. We discussed the risk.
we discussed stocks, bonds, and real estate. Those were the three that we focused on.
As far as investments?
Yes, sir.
Type what you invest in,
Yes, sir.
right? So like as far as savings, you're really saving what you're saving.
Yes, sir.
We're saving money. Let me put that back in black. So for, let's go back here, saves money. What can we say for what investments? You're putting into something that makes money.
Yes, sir.
Are we wording that
So
right?
you're-
Does that make sense?
You're looking at, I don't know how to put it.
I'm gonna put direct, and we gotta explain that, and then maybe indirect for investments. Like in investments, you invest in something to get a return from something else, right? So I would say into a product or system that makes money. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We also mentioned the risk factor, so we have that up there. Another thing that comes up when I did some research is the accessibility. Investments are,
We looked at that.
yeah, investments
Less accessible.
less accessible.
And if you access it, you stand to lose, because sometimes it allows you to access it, but you stand to lose a lot of your
Could lose.
principal, a lot of the principal.
Could lose. Alright. I would say that savings accounts are more,
Flexible.
more accessible and more flexible. And the only thing you're doing is just delaying how you reach your goal if you mess with that money, right? So it's more of a delay, if anything. Okay? And investments, usually once those terms are set and you invest in it, you have to wait. No, usually. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else that you give me. We talked a little bit about expected returns. Alright? Low risk, let's see, lower return. Because I think those are linked in there, between the risk and return. Higher risk, higher return. Anything else that we can think of that, when we are asking our kids to explain the difference between the two? Alright? Anything else? And one other thing that I want us to do, we also talked about terms of kind of highlight some key words that they're gonna need to know or understand. Anybody think of, well, obviously, investments and savings. Alright, anybody think of any other words that are gonna be key that they have an understanding of what they are?
So, sir, this wasn't the main focus of the lesson.
Okay.
It's just that because we had done saving already, I related it back to saving.
Gotcha.
Because the exit ticket, for example, we looked at what is investment and the advantages and disadvantages of investment.
Gotcha.
So this wasn't the key focus of the lesson. I just
Gotcha.
used that to
Okay, I didn't understand that. That's why we worked through this.
Yes.
Like, so this is, let's finish this up, because this is gonna show value in them understanding savings
Yes.
and investments.
Yes.
And then we can still identify some vocabulary. So what vocabulary?
So return on investment is one of the things that we looked at.
Yep. Alright, so return on investment, right? Yield.
Yield, interest rate.
Very much so. Okay. Not the word itself, but what it means in the context, probably accessibility.
And the product or system.
What was that?
Products or system. Because we looked at the different products.
Yes. So when we're talking, they need to probably list or name the products or systems that they're working with.
I would say as a student right now, learning from outside in, question would probably be like the word risk. When you hear risk, you know it's there's something that's going to take away or something can happen.
Something bad could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of that, I think that goes along with the product and system. You gotta list the risk.
Right.
Let me make sure I got this going. Yeah, we got it going. All right, so you gotta list the risk, okay? All right, does this kind of yield between the investment list, savings list, and the highlighted vocabulary? We've got a good idea of what they need to be mentioning and what they need to be stating if they were to talk about investments and say, I get what you were saying about, about the product, but we want to make sure that this is a good exemplar example of the information that they need to know, right? Okay. Anything else that we can think of? I'm trying to. One thing I would say is terms. Okay. What specifically when we're talking about investments and savings? What do you mean by terms? If they can explain how terms relates to investments and savings. How long are you saving? What's your investment term before you get your return? Things of that nature. Okay. Let's see anything else. All right. Now our next steps, if we're having them work on investments and savings, we need to have some type of hands-on activity, something relatable to take it to the next step. Okay. So you want to think through some possible activities.
So giving them like different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, there's one I had where I gave them a specific amount, so they had $20,000.
Yes.
The person had someone die, just received $20,000. She's an older person, so she's trying to figure out what is she gonna do with this $20,000 to make sure that she is okay for the rest of her life. So we look at how much of it would you invest, what would you invest it in, why would you invest it in this particular thing, and how much of it would you put into savings and why.
Gotcha. So they need to come up with a plan using investments and savings. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. We're gonna work through a couple more scenarios. All right, and I'll share those with you as always. Use them if you want. If not, let me know if there's something else helpful. But I think combining these two, initially having this information, them working through these scenarios, if they utilize this information, an idea would be, pick or research, one investment and one savings item from a bank. Right? It could be a suggestion, or this is something that you can kind of guide a few that you don't know where to start. Some of them you might give them this information and they know where to start based on what we've given them here. Some might need a little bit of guidance. Okay? So this could be, what you give some of the students who need some help, maybe an example, okay? And then within this, if we're asking them to do this, we also need to give them an exemplar example of that as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So this could be your anchor chart, and then you create the exemplar example from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Any questions? Anything we can help you out with right now?
That's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the lesson plan?